Greetings and welcome to In Depth. I'm Dike Rostant. The Chantuelle Queen Empress Ajè is turning up the heat in the southland with the IBA Music Festival. She joins us to share more about it and what we can look forward to as she celebrates the divine feminine energy. Woman, you are divine. Thank you so much for joining us, Empress Ajè. Seeing you sharing some time on the stage with Queen Omega. And let's start off by a definition of the divine feminine, please, because I hear different things from different places. What definition do you stand on?
First, I must say greetings to everyone. Positive salutation I bring from the universe. I hope you are well and all the listenership. Hope everyone is well. Well, as you said, you would have heard different interpretations by different people. But to me, I can only give from my, school of thought, the divine feminine energy represents that nurturing vibration, that nurturing spirit that is manifested as females or the feminine essence. And we know physically, we speak about women, whether grandmothers, our aunties, mothers, women on the whole. But on a spiritual level, the divine feminine essence is also contained in males, right? Because we have, dual spiritual essence. We have the masculine essence and the feminine essence in females and vice versa with males. So we have it existing in males as well, right? On a spiritual side. But for the purpose of this event, we are speaking specifically about females, mothers, grandmothers, those who would have nurtured us, those who would have, given birth to generations.
And you say that, and I want to go down a whole different rabbit hole because there's so many of us who we come from spaces, places, and lineages that are matrifocal, but at the same time, how do you now deal when you have society or other things placed on top of that, and how do you go through and navigate that? But I'm very glad that you said that it also can be encapsulated within the role that men play. But for the purposes of this conversation and the music festival, we're looking at women, but give us a little idea about the history of the festival, thank you, because this is not the first one, and like I said, we started off with you sharing some stage time with Queen Omega.
Right, so this 2024, on May 11th, it will be the 4th edition. The first IBA started at Little Carib Theatre on the 7th of December, 2019. And of course, we know what happened in 2020. So even though I continued with online production, because, you had to remain relevant, you had to remain visible, IBA did not resume until 2022. And I went south. A lot of people say, but why south? But that's another story. So I went to Naparima Bowl because, to be honest, just to give a little bit, at Little Carib Theatre 2019, I remember clearly coming to the end of the show, a couple people in the audience said, listen, you had to bring this show south, you see this vibe, you had to bring this south. And I say, all right. And as they say, I take basket. So in 2022, right, after not getting anywhere in Port of Spain, I clean forget it, trying to get a location in Port of Spain and not getting anywhere. Is someone who was on the show say, but Empress, you forget you had to go south? I say, yeah, boy. And listen to me, as they would say, it's as if everything was waiting for me. When I called Naparima Bowl, the date was free. I said, right, south it is. So the second edition went south in 2022, sorry. Then we had 2023, and we are here again in 2024. Much to give praise and thanks for.
Well, I'm saying hello to Marlon, the Beak, and the entire cast and crew at the Naparima Bowl. But what is it about South, and what is the vibes like? Because you know they say South is love, and even the last time I was
South
there at
is love.
Naparima Bowl, somebody said you talked to Empress Ajè, you had to talk to she, you know, and all this kind of thing. And this is even before you sent me anything. But what is that
Look
vibe?
at
What is
that.
the energy like at Naparima Bowl?
Apart from Naparima Bowl, South has a different vibration to Port of Spain. Let me just say this. And I think it goes with not just Trinidad and Tobago. When you go in the countryside of Tobago, the vibration is different to what we call the urban, right? The urban areas. And I would be in South a lot. As a matter of fact, a lot of people feel I'm from South, but I'm from the East. I live in Aruka, right? I love South. It's family oriented. The place just nice. I just like South. So I don't think it's any mistake that the universe directed me to South in 2022. Naparima Bowl, why I like this space is because the energy that I bring to the space, the amphitheater gives me just that I could decorate the space, put my feel into it, my vibration. It's where else can you do that? Rarely. Where else? I have that free reign to decorate the space before you actually reach the amphitheater. That picnic kind of vibes, that family vibes. And that is what I love about Naparima Bowl Amphitheater. I, there isn't that urge to do the show inside the bowl. As they would say, my spirit is not connected inside the bowl for this show. The amphitheater is it. That's where my vibes resides, in the amphitheater.
And you're saying right now we talk, and if this was a paper, we could have said that some of the keywords are energy, feeling, vibration. So we're going to give a little vibration looking specifically at the event on the 11th of May. Before we come back, we take a short break. We are speaking with Empress Ajè about the IBA Music Festival. Stay with us. We give you some information about the show itself, then we come back with more.
Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it.
On Saturday, May 11th, it's IBA Music Festival, the ultimate Mother's Day event. Naparima Bowl Amphitheater, San Fernando. Come, let's celebrate the divine feminine energy with Empress Ajè, Collis Durante, Nisa, Stephanie Joseph, Naomi Sinet, Jaron Nose,
Let me just tell somebody about Jesus.
Darren Shepherd with NLCB Fonclair, and Farmer Nappy. An exciting welcome party awaits you. Best dressed mom wins 2 airline tickets to Grenada. IBA Music Festival, Saturday, May 11th, Naparima Bowl Amphitheater, celebrating the divine feminine energy.
One more time, one more time. Na 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 na. One more time, come alone. One more time, it's so. Thank you so much, y'all. Hey.
So we spoke about feeling, we spoke about love, we spoke about vibration. Oh, we didn't speak about love, but we have Freetown talking about can you feel the love? We are having a conversation with Empress Ajè. We're looking at the IBA Music Festival. And how do you go about deciding a theme, deciding the artists for each performance when you're deciding, okay, well, this is what we're doing this year?
Right. Well, when it started off, right, at Little Carib Theatre 2019, it was IBA the Thanksgiving, because I felt that year, 2019, it was one of my best years in terms of, the performing arts. It was the year I actually made it to the National Calypso Monarch finals as a first reserve, and there were a lot of achievements in my artistic life. So the inspiration, IBA, the Thanksgiving. Then in 2022, after we give thanks, we transform. 2022 was IBA the transformation. And 2023, after you have transformed, you should be enlightened. 2023 was IBA, the enlightenment. So rather than go on getting a theme for every year, I said, okay, now it's IBA Music Festival. We're just gonna give of that positive vibration through music and different genres. So it's IBA Music Festival. In terms of selecting the artists, and people ask me that all the time. How you go about choosing your artists? And also, I have persons who would reach out and say, Empress, I want to perform on your show. And I explain to them, rather than just not choose them, I explain to them the type of vibes, right? The type of show it is. And they may not necessarily fit into that. So I look for people who, bring that energy, that positive vibes that could translate through music. Now, you don't have to be singing the same thing I am singing, right? Even if you're doing reggae, your music must be positive, it must uplift. People must leave IBA Music Festival feeling, filled. Your spirit was filled. Now, music's supposed to do that, and that is according to you, are using your words, that is a whole rabbit hole if we go down there. Because the type of music I may not like, some people say, well, does make me feel good, and I might look at them as what? But for me, in this space, IBA Music Festival, celebrating the divine feminine energy, that music must speak to your soul, you know? It must ignite you. You must feel really, really good when you leave the show. It mustn't just be a prance up and a jump up and a no. Even if the music is not even at the beats to give you that, adrenaline rush, it must just talk to your soul. So I look at artists who could bring that kind of vibes, not just hype, but you must bring that kind of, you must talk to my spirit. If my spirit don't connect with the artist, I'm saying it straight, you know, hardly likely I would put them on the show. I have to feel that energy first.
So in terms of feeling that energy, let me know some of the artists who your vibes connected with, who we're going to be seeing on the 11th. Thank you.
Right. So we have Stephanie Joseph, and she's coming out of Tobago, right? Stephanie is a wonderful artist. She's more on the jazz side. Well, now I know her doing reggae at first. Stephanie is going to be on the show. We have Darren Shepherd and Fun Claire. And this year, I always have Pan on my show in the form of Natasha Joseph. She works with me a lot. But this year, I'm having a lot more Pan. So we have Darren Shepherd and Fun Claire. We have a brother from South, Collis Durante. I call him the guy with the smooth vocals, and he's on the reggae side. We have Collis Durante. We have Jaron Nurse, right? He's doing gospel, the Jesus youth. But Jaron is a type of artist could fit in. Yeah? It doesn't have to be a gospel concert. Jaron is that type of artist could fit in a positive environment. We have Nissa, and Nissa is no stranger to our ears and our eyes, I'm sure. She's on the jazz side. She's also on the gospel side. Nissa is fantastic individual. Well, we have Empress Ajè, myself, but I will leave myself for last. We have Farmer Nappy, right? Farmer, what can I say about Farmer? I call him Mr. Consistent. Mr. Consistent, and he appeals to, while he's an artist that, is loved by both the younger and the mature crowd, Farmer is really loved by the mature crowd. And my show generates, a more mature crowd. And we have the 2024 NWA Calypso Queen, Naomi Sinnett. She's the youngest performer on the cast.
And she just young, but at the same time packs a punch. And when she's delivering, you really feel that, and it feels like a very more mature spirit. But speaking of that spirit, and you said we talk about spirit again, huh? Tell me a little bit about the work that goes into a rehearsal so that we see the things that we see on stage. Because I think sometimes people just think, all right, well, we come together, okay, well, this is songs that we're doing, and all right, so we just do what it is we're doing on stage when it is time for performance. But what goes in before that? What is it that we don't see?
Well, let me say this, what you see happening on the stage, the actual execution phase of the project, right? That is what the audience sees, as you very well said. But for me, this planning starts like a whole year before, When one IBA finish, I don't go into the thought process of the next IBA. My band is booked. I start to process what I want to see on stage, even reaching out to artists, looking at them, listening to their music. That is the kind of behind the scenes things. Let's just take band rehearsal, for example. A lot goes into that. A lot goes into band rehearsal. I do my rehearsal like a month and something before the show because I want the artists to get a good run, not one run. For me, one rehearsal can't cut it. I think I put myself in their position. How would I want to be treated as an artist on a show? Is one rehearsal good enough? So I meet and treat with them the same way I would like to be treated. There is a chat, a general chat is formed, we communicate in the chat, we share those energies before the actual show because that's important. I try not to be too distant from the artist. There is communication, so we keeping in touch. For example, the drummers, because you can't have IBA Music Festival without traditional drummers. I would go to their practice session. I would line with the guys, I keep in touch. We want to keep the energies connected. So the day of the show is not like we are meeting for the first time or people are distant. That is just the final execution phase.
And I know that you said you want to have patrons leaving feeling filled, and you just spoke about the drummers. Let me say a special mention to Baba Tamba, but at the same time,
Yes.
we're looking forward to it. And I think we'll play something when you interacted with a drummer to close off this conversation. But we want to thank you very much, Empress Ajè. Looking at the IBA Music Festival on behalf of the entire TTT News team, this has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you.